From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubani.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, the federal government resolves to deal with refugee issues arising from terror attacks in the northeast. The president visits Lagos. Aide says it's a private affair. We're examining the challenge of getting potable water in Akure, Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. And Pussy protesters in Hong Kong regroup at main protest scene. We'll begin tonight with the president's visit to Lagos. President Goodluck Jonathan arrived in Lagos today, as one of his aides put it, for a private visit. Well, private or not, he did have a crowd waiting for him at the airport. As early as 6 this morning, hundreds of traders and some other women groups converged on the presidential wing of the Mirza Mohammed Airport to await his arrival. Our correspondent, Loretta Chogo, reports.
Women under the aegis of Women for Change gather at the presidential wing of the Mirza Mohammed Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. It turns out to be a long wait for President Goodluck Jonathan. Some women sitting under the tree, others gather in groups discussing areas of interest, while these other ones decide to entertain everyone around. First to arrive was the Bayelsa State Governor Seriake Dixon. He would not talk to anyone about the president's mission in Lagos. He walked straight into the VIP lounge of the presidential wing. At exactly 4 p.m., the presidential jet torches the ground. Alighting from the plane, he waves the crowd and hops into a waiting helicopter, and then left for an undisclosed location. When we reached out to one of the president's aides, we were told that the president was in Lagos on a private visit. Loretta Chogo, Channels Television News.
That's up north now. 116,000 persons displaced in Yobe State appear to have received the attention of the federal government with the release of 500 million naira worth of relief items for their upkeep. The displaced persons are among those who abandoned their homes owing to incessant attacks by the Boko Haram sect in the northeast of the country. Flagging off the relief distribution in Damaturu, Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mohammed Sani Sidi, who is also chairman of the distribution committee, said the items were procured based on identified basic needs of the people. The Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Abdul Balama, who is also coordinating the distribution, assured the people of more support from the recently launched Victims Funds Support Fund, inaugurated by the federal government. The state governor, Ibrahim Gaidam, is fully appreciative of the federal government while promising cooperation in the fight against insecurity. Former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, has been speaking about the continued abduction of the Chibok girls by the Boko Haram sect. Chief Obasanjo, who spoke with the Hausa service of the BBC, expressed doubt on the return of the girls. He says there's little or no hope for their return. Chief Obasanjo claims many of the girls may be impregnated by the Boko Haram insurgents and may have given birth to children and whom they will find difficult to cater for. Now, according to the former president, he had a chance of opening up communication lines with the insurgents, but the government never gave him permission to do so. He says succeeding generations would continue to remember the abducted girls. We're still in northern Nigeria. Irate youths from southern Kaduna are calling attention to what they refer to as the incessant killings of their people in Sanga and Kaura local government areas by suspected armed Fulani herdsmen. The protest comes barely 2 weeks after suspected armed Fulani herdsmen in the surrounding communities launched an attack, killing over 33 people in the areas. But Kaduna State Governor Moktayero has been calling for calm, assuring the people that all issues raised would be addressed.
Protesters comprising leaders of various civil society organizations from the area demonstrating in Banawa area of the state capital, where they accused government of being insensitive to their plight, while the assailants continue to unleash mayhem against their people. This is not the first time that scores of innocent lives are being cut short by hoodlums. The villagers say so far a total of 16 separate attacks have taken place in Sanga local government area alone between June to September this year. They are now protesting, calling on governments to address the issue.
We are actually saying that the government has not even done enough to protect our people. What makes us feel that they have not done enough? They have used state apparatus to muzzle people who they should be in partnership with to condemn the killings. And so if the government has done anything that looks like releasing press statements to say that they condemn the attacks, they have not demonstrated it in their act.
The issue of just using guns as well as security agencies in uniform, it also involved a lot of involvement of stakeholders, and that is what I expect people like this that have addressed the press conference to join effort with government towards addressing these issues of insecurity, rather than becoming political jobbers, who are just coming out to say government has not done A or B.
The protesters also want the government to rescind its decision on one Christiana Musa, a senior civil servant who was relieved of her position by the state government for allegedly taking part in a protest over the incessant attacks in Sanga carried out by some angry women against the governor last week.
His visit was far from friendly and sympathetic to the people he had neglected for so long. The victims, especially those widowed by unrelenting violence, saw this development as a show of power, total lack of empathy, devoid of remorse from a man that swore to protect and defend them as the chief security officer of the state. His nonchalant attitude naturally seated these women as all who loved their loved ones protested.
He said that government should be more proactive. As far as I know, there is nothing that happens that government doesn't respond immediately. The first people to respond, the local government chairman is there, the traditional leaders are there, and as well as the security agents. So I don't know what people mean by government should be more proactive. There is nothing that is more than what we are doing at the moment. Yes, if you look at it, the time has now come for us to start living together, because we cannot continue living in a scattered way, whereby you will see one house after about 100 to 200 meters or 300 meters, you see another house, or after 1 or 2 kilometers, you see another community. It is very important that we come closer so that we can help ourselves.
Gunmen suspected to be Fulani herdsmen had raided 3 communities in Sanga local government area in the southern part of Kaduna State, killing no fewer than 32 villagers. The affected villages are Fadon Kashi, Kashi Daji, Ungwangaye, and all in Sanga local government area.
In part 2 after the break, Nigerian teachers groan over treatment as they mark World Teachers' Day. That's in a moment. Please join us again.